Here's everything that Xbox needs to do by the end of this summer. Or else. What's up guys, welcome to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that is constantly working to keep you up to date on all things Xbox. I cover a lot of different things on this channel, games, news, rumors, all related to Xbox, so you stay up to date, so you stay Xbox ready. If you've been following me for a while, you know that my usual kind of thing is that I do a little bit of a variety show, a little hodgepodge of different topics. But I thought I would switch it up today, hit you with my little wish list of things I would like Xbox to do in the next 6 months, at least by the end of the summer. First up, let's talk about the games. Now, this is something that Xbox gets a lot of flack for historically. Every time they post on their Twitter account about a new controller and there are a bunch of people excited, there's always that one dude that's like, Xbox back at it again, making more controllers than they are games. They should get back in the lab and focus on the games and not so much on the controllers, blah, 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 blah. But we're 4 months into 2023 and oh my gosh, it is already so much better from a game standpoint than it was at this point in 2022 for Xbox fans. Yes, we got some good games like last January. We got Nobody Saves the World. I really enjoyed that. We got the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. We got Guardians of the Galaxy. But for every one of those good games, it was like a bunch of games I just didn't care about. I'm having a much better time, especially on Game Pass, now that they have the console version of Age of Empires, Persona 3 and 4. I still have to beat 5. Hi-Fi Rush, of course. Much easier to get people hyped over games like Minecraft Legends and Redfall coming up as well. So when it comes to games, Xbox should just keep doing what they are doing. Keep a steady stream of those first-party titles. And I think the difference for this year, as opposed to last year, is that the quality of the third-party Day 1 editions is significantly better. I'm talking about games like Wolong Fallen Dynasty. I really enjoyed that. Atomic Heart. And they were even able to snag some timed exclusives like the console version for Valheim. Overall, I think they're on a pretty decent roll, and I think in the month of April is going to be especially strong. Like I mentioned, Minecraft Legends is coming, and then I'm excited for The Last Case of Benedict Fox at the end of this month. But that doesn't give them a pass to kind of just sit back, rest on their laurels. There is still work to be done. They got to continue to lock down those really cool third-party Day 1 editions like I mentioned earlier. And it would be really cool to see them lock down more PC to console ports. Every time I log on to my Xbox, I see that people are playing Valheim. It seems to be a pretty popular game, especially amongst my friends and followers. Console players are hungry for more of those PC games. While we're on that subject, what is going on with the console version of Warhammer Darktide? We have a pretty good idea of what's coming to Xbox game-wise in the next couple of months, except for one glaring omission. Forza Motorsport 8. Forza Motorsport 8 is not high on my personal priority list, but I feel like it's a little bit weird that this is the only game that doesn't have a release date from Developer Direct. And even though I'm personally not chomping at the bit to play this game, I know a lot of you guys, I know a large portion of the Xbox fan base is. And although we have a good crop of games to look forward to in the next couple of months, having a firm release date on this upcoming Forza Motorsport game could take Xbox from having like a pretty good year to like a great year. Moving on to the crown jewel of Xbox Game Studios' upcoming releases, Starfield, man, Xbox has got to go hard on the marketing for this game. There's a lot riding on this game, man. There is a lot riding on this game. It's obviously Bethesda's first RPG, first new IP, and forever. So Xbox has to pull out all the stops when it comes to marketing for this game, especially if the rumors are true and Spider-Man 2 is releasing in September as well. You know Sony's gonna hit that hard like they have with all their other first-party stuff. Xbox has got to match them. Obviously, they're doing some things right on that front already. Dedicating an entire show to Starfield after the game showcase in June, that's a good move. When Horizon Forbidden West came out last February, I was seeing that thing everywhere. I was seeing it on buses. I was seeing it on TV. I was seeing it in my YouTube ads. I want that same presence for Starfield coming up. Speaking of the Xbox Game Showcase this summer, you know how a couple of years ago, Xbox would announce these games purely to drive up some hype, but they knew that they were like 4 or 5 years away from releasing the games. Like when we got that tease of Elder Scrolls 6, oh my god, the new Elder Scrolls, that's crazy. But at this point, that was like 3 years ago. And that thing is not coming out, at least for the next like 2 or 3 years. So then Xbox Xbox switched it up and they were like, okay, we're not gonna do that anymore. We're gonna focus on the immediate future. Starting with last year's showcase, they were saying, okay, all these games are gonna be games that you will be able to play in the next 12 months. That was sort of a lie, but I like the concept. And then they came out with Developer Direct and they were like, okay, these games are for real coming out very, very soon. We're only gonna focus on games that are coming out in the next year or so. And I was like, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Now I want them to kind of mix it together for this upcoming showcase in June. Yeah, like let's get some updates on the new Motorsport. That would be cool. Get a firm release date for that. Hopefully it's this year and not next year, not delayed until 2024. And then let's start talking about 2024. Some of these titles that we haven't heard about in a long time. Avowed, the new Hellblade, the new Perfect Dark remake or reboot or whatever it's gonna be, the Indiana Jones game. And then maybe combine that with some crazy reveals like they did with the Elder Scrolls 6. Like some stuff that's like a little bit further away. I'm down for like a mixed bag when it comes to that stuff, especially now that we have a whole show dedicated to Starfield, so no one's gonna be like, what's going on with Starfield? For me personally, I would love to see more about Avowed. I am hungry for a new fantasy RPG experience. I'm a big nerd when it comes to that stuff. And right now I'm playing through Pillars of Eternity, so I have that universe on my mind. I'm excited to learn more about Avowed. Previous to this, what we've been hearing about that game is that, oh, it's like a little bit farther along than we thought it is. Oh, maybe we can show some stuff, but the developers don't want to. It's like, okay, show it. We know the Coalition's working on some other stuff, but it'd be awesome to also see Gear 6 make an appearance at the game showcase. I don't know how likely that's gonna be. Again, I frame this as like, I would like to see this stuff, because every time I feel like I make a hard prediction, I get like egg on my face and it's just terrible. But whatever they do, again, they gotta go hard, guys. Summer Games Fest is happening in that same time frame. Sony's showcase is apparently gonna be really crazy too. So I'm really hoping for a great show from Xbox this June. Next up, we gotta talk about this dashboard update that is apparently coming to Xbox consoles in 2023. We've been hearing about this for a while now. I did a whole video about it explaining what I think the ideal dashboard would look like. It did pretty well at the time. One of my favorite interactions with one of you guys happened around that time. Someone messaged me on Xbox and said, hey, great video about the dashboard. And I said, thanks. And then he replied, question mark? And I said, you said good video on the dashboard? He says, I don't know what you're on about. I said, okay. So yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about the dashboard, what it should look like. What it boils down to for me is less. Less is more. I've said this in previous videos, but I'm talking less tiles, less ads, less clutter, just like less, man, just like chill out. But everything we've been hearing so far about this has been the opposite of that. Some people with these insider builds that have this new dashboard, they're saying things like, oh, it's like a gigantic ad for Game Pass. I'm like, that is not what I wanted. Again, just like throwing more stuff, throwing more tiles on there. I don't have anything against these features. It's just how they are presented on the dashboard. I'm like, what's going on? No matter how it ends up looking like, I would like to see whether it's better, whether it's worse than what we have right now. I would like to see what this dashboard looks like in the next couple of months. This video is brought to you by Factor. Get ready-made fresh meals delivered straight to your door by Factor. For anyone who leads a really busy life and just wants to come home and relax and play some games, this is perfect for you. There's over 27 meals that you can pick from in any given week that can be prepared in 2 minutes or less. And if you're trying to look like our boy Geralt of Rivia, they have vegan, vegetarian, calorie smart, and keto options. Meal plans range from 4 to 18 meals a week, depending on what you need. And you can adjust them on a week-to-week basis. So if one week you need only 5 or 6 meals, but the next you're feeling really hungry, you get 18 meals, you can switch it, you can skip weeks, it's really convenient. So skip the takeout, skip the delivery, and choose Factor instead. Use the code below or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTOR-SE33280 for 50% off your first box. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring this video. Now let's get down to the serious business. I'm talking hardware, I'm talking new accessories. Here are some things I'd like to see again by the end of the summer or the next couple of months. First up, I would like to see more news on what is going on with this mid-gen refresh. I've been hearing all sorts of stuff on the PlayStation side, and I go on PS Ready with Jimmy every weekend, and we talk about the PS5 Slim, the PS5 Pro. There's a bunch of rumors out there, and it's like we hear next to nothing almost about the mid-gen stuff for Xbox. And I feel like it's finally time to explore that. I know that some of y'all out there are just getting your hands on a Series X or a Series S. because of the console shortage. But guys, it's been 3 years since these consoles launched, so we're like a third of the way into a typical console life cycle. It is about time that we start to at least get a hint at where these new consoles are going to go. I think the big question going forward is what they do with the Series S. Do they keep producing it? Do they beef it up a little bit? What is going on? Now, I can't imagine a world where they would discontinue this entirely because it's sold like hotcakes. People seem to really vibe with the Series S, man. $250, $300 for like a, next gen-ish console, mostly next gen console. It's very appealing, and I think it has a place in this market for sure. But more and more, we're seeing people point at the Series S and being like, this is going to be a problem when developing games in the future. It's okay now, but in the future, it might be a problem. I don't know if that is a hardware thing on the Series S's part. I don't know if that is just a optimization issue on the studio's part. But my dad always used to say, where there is smoke, there is fire. And right now, there's a little bit of smoke around the Series S. But me personally, when it comes to this mid-gen refresh, I would like to see something in the middle of the Series X and the Series S. Maybe not a Series S Plus, because obviously the appeal of the S is its price point. It's cheap and it's very like impulse buy territory. It would be cool to see Xbox adopt something more modular like what we're seeing with this PS5 Slim leaks and rumors and all that stuff. Maybe like a digital Series X that if you change your mind and you're like, oh, I don't want to just do digital games, I want to do physical games as well, then you have the option to buy like a little disk drive, external disk drive, and slap that baby on. We know that Microsoft filed a patent last year that kind of sounds like they're going to do something along those lines a little bit, like especially with the Series S, since it's the digital console, you plug in an external drive, put the disc in, and it gives you a validation to play that game digitally. I know how a lot of you feel out there. It's like, what is the point of a mid-gen refresh if we haven't even seen what these consoles can do now? But if Sony comes out again with the PS5 Slim, with the PS5 Pro, I feel like pressure will be on Xbox to respond in some way. We know that they're working on something because these mid-gen dev kits are out at studios right now. They're in developers' hands. I would also like to know what is going on with the Elite Series 3. What plans do they have, if any, for the next version of the Elite Series? It's making me kind of nervous that they keep releasing new colors for the Elite Series 2. I'm like, okay, what is this red, white, and blue French American ass Elite Series controllers mean for the future of the series? Are they going to put it off? They're going to continue riding with the Elite Series 2? What is going on? Right now, they seem satisfied to just rock with this new Elite Series core, which I feel like is a little bit of a missed opportunity because, again, over on the PlayStation side, and I hate to keep saying PlayStation, but the DualSense Edge, that is pretty cool. And it seems weird to me that Xbox hasn't responded even with like news of an Elite Series 3. Not to say that I'm dissatisfied with my Elite Series 2. I use that thing every single day. So no hate on the Series 2, but at the end of last year, we were hearing rumors about, a new Elite Series controller, and I was like, kind of like hyping myself up for that. And then eventually that became the Elite Series Core. I was like, oh, okay. I'm still hungry for news about the Elite Series 3. We have been hearing all sorts of stuff about these new patents that Microsoft is filing with this LCD touchscreen on the Xbox controller. I wonder if they'll hold off on the Elite Series 3 once they kind of perfect that technology and then somehow incorporate like a touchscreen or something with the new Pro controller. My last bit of hardware stuff, I want to know when we can expect a new special edition Series X. It has been too long, man. I know they've been pumping out all these special edition custom consoles as part of sweepstakes, but I want one that we can physically buy. But I personally feel like if Starfield comes and goes and we don't have a special controller, Series X, or something, it'll be a huge missed opportunity. We saw how fast those freaking Halo Infinite Anniversary Series X's flew off the shelves. And I know that Starfield is a new IP. It is not as time-tested and classic and integral to the Xbox brand as Halo is. But I feel like people would be chomping at the bit to buy a special edition Starfield Series X in the shape of like a freaking spaceship or something. This next section is features and things I want on Xbox, but I'm not necessarily putting a timetable on it. Some of them, yes, I am. Some of them, not so much. First up, I want to be able to use a USB microphone on my Xbox console. I don't know why this can't happen as the Xboxes exist right now, especially with my Series X. It's like I can plug in a keyboard, a mouse. I can almost use it as like a desktop computer. but I cannot use my Blue Yeti microphone with my console. It's like, I just want to plug it in and use it. Especially now because they're making it easier for people to stream directly from their Xbox consoles. They're teaming up with other people so you can put like nice overlays onto your stream and look a little bit more professional without having to dump money into like a whole PC, a whole capture card situation. If you're gonna do all that stuff, why not support having a nice microphone compatible with your Xbox console so you can have nice, crispy sound for your streams? Speaking of streaming, it'd be nice to see other streaming options besides Twitch on Xbox, YouTube streaming, Facebook streaming. And all this talk about streaming makes me think of another feature I really want. I want to be able to stream games that I own from the Xbox cloud. Right now, you can only stream games that are available on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. It would be awesome if we were able to stream any game that we own outright in our library, sort of like how Google Stadia used to do it, rest in peace. Through them, it was like, yeah, you can stream like from our catalog of games, or you can buy the game outright and also stream that. This next thing is something I definitely want to see by this summer: Xbox Friends and Family Game Pass plan. What's the deal with that? They've been testing it for what seems like forever. They've rolled it out to more countries to test it, except for the United States. It seems that Game Pass is kind of gearing up for some changes. They get rid of the $1 intro month. They are bundling in and trying to beef up Game Pass Quest rewards. So I feel like it's coming soon. I feel like it's on the horizon, but I want it now. $25 a month for 5 people and they all get Game Pass Ultimate. That sounds sick. Last year, Xbox rolled out Game Pass and cloud gaming to select Samsung TV models. I thought that was pretty cool. But they were only available to like a certain year and a certain make. So I was like, okay, I have to buy this $800 TV in order to access those features. But then I played on one of these TVs at the Game Awards and I was like, okay, this is pretty smooth. It was directly connected via Ethernet, so that probably went a long way in optimizing the experience, but it got me thinking, man, it'd be cool to see cloud gaming and Game Pass on other devices, not just specific models of TVs, all TVs, and maybe even things like Steam Deck. Notice how in this whole video, I've only sort of mentioned Activision Blizzard a couple of times. And that was deliberate on my part, because what else I want from Xbox is that I want them to not focus so much on the Activision Blizzard stuff. Yes, I know it is important. Yes, I know it can change their business fundamentally and catapult them into an echelon not seen by Xbox in a very long time. But me personally, I'm tired of hearing about it. And I know a lot of you guys are tired of hearing about it as well. The constant back and forth. Sony said this, Xbox said this, rah, rah, rah. There is a lot that Xbox can key in on to keep fans happy. That is not like, oh, we're gonna win this case in the US. Oh, we're gonna get approved in the EU. Oh, finally the CMA is agreeing with us. So whatever they can do to kind of distract us, whether it be game releases, controllers, special edition Xboxes, keep doing that. Keep distracting us with that so we don't key in on the frickin' Activision, whatever's going on with that. That's my wish list. Make it happen, Xbox.